welcome to this webinar this morning on the Census 2021. My name is Hilary Hanbury and I'm the Communities Manager for Business in the Community. So this webinar is going to be recorded and you can watch it back on the YouTube channel, our Business in the Community Northern Ireland YouTube channel, if you feel it's useful or you'd like to share it with anybody else. So I'm delighted that we have Louise Clark here, who's going to be taking this session this morning from the Census team in Nisra, who is working flat out to the max, her and the team, in terms of making sure that we all fill out the census. And this year, for the first time, is the first time that it's going online, which is great. So I'm not going to say too much more. I am going to hand over to Louise. I will mute myself so you do not hear my dogs snoring. And hopefully we're hoping this will maybe take about 15-20 minutes, so you might get an extra half hour back in your day. If you have any questions, just if you pop them in the chat and I'll keep an eye on them, and I can ask then Louise after she has her presentation. But for the first point, Louise is going to just talk us through the process of the census online and what that actually means for us here in Northern Ireland. So I will hand over to you, Louise.
Thank you very much, Hilary. I'm just going to share my screen because I have a wee presentation here. So like Hilary said, my name is Louise Clark and I'm part of the stakeholder and community engagement team for Census 2021. So who we are is we're part of NISRA, Northern Ireland Statistics and Research Agency. We were a lot less well known this time last year, but because we do all the COVID stats as well, people are a lot more familiar with the acronym NISRA this year. Why do we do a census? It's the only thing that provides an accurate estimate of all the people and households in Northern Ireland. It happens only once every 10 years. The first Northern Ireland census was in 1926. The most recent was in 2011, so our next one is in March 2021. And it is mandatory. It's a legal obligation for everybody to take part. Like I said, it happens only once every 10 years and it gives us a picture of all the people and households in Northern Ireland. It's used by local councils, charities and many other organisations on how to spend millions of pounds on services every year. Just to give you a bit of a flavour of, you know, the kind of quantum of it. So if there's a street with 50 houses in it and 2 people in each house, that's 100 people. If those 100 people choose not to fill in their census, Northern Ireland loses £1 million in funding per year from Westminster through the Barnett formula. So if you just kind of take that into consideration, you know, like that's a big loss to Northern Ireland. If you think what all different groups and charities and the health service could do with that £1 million, you know, it does make a difference. Yeah, so like I said, it informs decisions that improve lives. So there's the planning and development that's done through all the local councils. There's the health and social care system. That's everything from GP practices to the carers going around the community. The housing, so especially in the affordable and adapted housing end of the market. For education in that 0 to 4 demographic groups, it's really important to see that coming through, to see what schools we're going to need, how many teachers we're going to need, any special needs education we're going to need. For transport, there's a question on how we travel to school and work. And that's used by the Department of Infrastructure on new road builds, transport links, even car parking spaces in the city centre, things like that. And many other things, including your emergency services, your libraries, even your bin collections coming to the bottom of your street. You know, all that is brought back to census data. It's a huge task, so we will send out more than 1 million forms, reminder letters, etc. And we have just finished employing almost 2,000 field staff. There'll be a large advertising campaign starting now on Monday. So from Monday on, you'll be sick of seeing census because it's going to be on TV, radio, local papers, all the roadside advertising, bus shelters, outside your Tesco's, everywhere. And we reckon there's about 840,000 addresses and 1.9 million people that will need counted. So just a wee bit of a quiz here. So this is kind of a wee bit about census in the past. So these are the occupations recorded in the 1800s. So does anybody want to hazard a guess if any of these were real occupations or if I just made these all up? You can take yourself off mute if you want to have a guess.
Yeah, clad hopper, that would be some sort of shoemaker.
Well, actually, they're all real occupations, so they are. A knocker-upper was before alarm clocks. They tapped the windows to wake people up for work. A clodhopper was actually a slang term for a person who supplied the fields. A cow banger was a slang word for a dairy farmer, and a tow rag was a person who worked in the docks as a corn porter. So, you know, these are all nice wee things that would have disappeared had it not been for census data. We would never have known about them. This is my favourite record from the 1880 census, and it's 15-year-old Catherine Cudney, and her father Ezekiel Cudney has obviously filled this in for her, and he said he's a farmhand, his wife keeps house, and then Catherine, who is 15, just does as she pleases. And if anybody has teenagers, I'm sure you feel the same. Most of the time they just do as they please. So back to the present day, and Census Day itself is Sunday the 21st of March, and we're engaging with everyone, but we're focusing on those that have maybe previously been underrepresented, or that we would call hard to reach, that maybe that need a little bit more help to fill in their census. And as Hilary said, this is the first time it will be digital first. Paper will still be available for those who need it, but in the first instance, digital first is what we're promoting. This is what your pack will look like. So this is the envelope that will be coming through your door on the 1st of March or shortly after, depending on your Royal Mail delivery, and you can complete your census as soon as this pack arrives. We'll be doing a bit of communications on this that you could maybe share on your social media and stuff, just to let people know what the pack will look like, and that it is important to keep it safe so they don't lose their code. In 1911, this household was very keen that everybody was counted. If you kind of look at the bottom, so it said name not decided, 10 minutes old. And if you think back in 1911, it would have been people actually coming round the doors to fill this in. They've obviously said, hold on a wee minute, she's almost there, we'll get her in the census. And then the baby was born and she got included at 10 minutes old. So like I said, it will be digital first, and most households will receive an access code to complete online. There are a couple of occasions where we expect people to be less likely to complete online, and they will receive a paper form. So that's basically where we know it's an elderly only household. They will get paper first. We know that from some admin data we have. Where broadband is particularly poor, that sort of geographically is Southwest Fermanagh, Ards Peninsula, although there's pockets elsewhere that we've highlighted where the broadband is particularly poor, and they will receive a paper form first. You can also complete online in Irish and Ulster Scots for the first time if you're so inclined. Neither way is mutually exclusive, so if you get a code but you prefer a paper form, you can phone the contact centre and there'll be no questions asked. You'll be able to get your paper form posted out to you. You won't have to give an explanation, and if you do receive a paper questionnaire, but there will be a code at the top, so you can complete online. And anybody that's trusted or in your bubble can help you complete. You don't have to struggle with this on your own. We have translation guides and an engagement leaflet in 17 languages. I'll just leave them on the screen because whenever I try and go through all these, I usually end up getting tongue-tied about halfway through. You can kind of have a look and see all the different languages we have supported. We also have a number of accessible formats. So we have a large print paper questionnaire that you can phone the contact centre to order. And we have an easy read information leaflet. The first part of that's available now on our website, and the full version will go live at the end of the month. You can order a Braille guidance booklet from the contact centre, and we will have 4 videos available in British and Irish Sign Language with audio and voiceover. The first one of those, What is a Census, is on the website now, and the next 3 will be coming at the end of the month. We've also done a bit of work with the British Deaf Association and RNID, who are taking a piece of work forward themselves to have the actual questionnaire translated into British and Irish Sign Language. So we'll be sharing that on our social media. That's their product, but they've given us access to share that. Staff will be calling door to door, which is important to know. For people that haven't responded after the sort of 1st of April, we will have people coming Monday to Saturday, 9 to 8 and 10 to 4. And we want people to know these times because a lot of people might think, oh, the public sector doesn't go outside of 9 to 5, so it's important to know that if somebody does call to your house in the evenings or the weekends and they look genuine, they probably are genuine, and we are going to go out at those times. Traditionally, before COVID, that's where we would have found people at home. Now everybody's at home all the time, so it's slightly different, but traditionally that would have been the times where it was best to try and find people. We have some guidance on how to check they're a genuine member of staff, so they will be carrying ID. They'll be able to show you a copy of the letter we sent. They will be wearing appropriate PPE. They will stand 2 meters back. They have a little hygiene hook to ring the doorbell or wrap the letterbox, and they will never enter your home. If somebody is trying to enter your home, they're a fraudulent caller. They'll spend no longer than 5 minutes at your doorstep. So previously they would have been able to complete your census on the doorstep with you, and they'll not be able to do that this year, just due to the time it takes. But if you need help with a particular question, or they'll be able to signpost you to where you can get more support. And we're working with the PSNI Quick Check on 101. They will have a list of all the people in different areas and all the car registration numbers. So if you are in any way unsure, you can phone 101 and get that checked out. Keeping your personal information safe is our top priority. We have a privacy statement online, and you can read that before completing your census questionnaire. When we publish the statistics from the census, they're completely anonymous, so none of your personal information is ever shared with any other government departments, including benefits, housing executive, HMO, landlords, anything that. We never share your data. And it's not a nice thing to say, but it's important for the census that whenever your form comes in, you become a number. As soon as we get that data, you just become a 38-year-old female living in a certain place with a certain health conditions, with a certain number of dependents, with a certain job, with certain qualifications. All of your personal data is completely stripped out, and you do just become a number. So COVID-19 has obviously meant our plans have changed. We had envisaged I would be running the roads at this time of the year. I've been going around the country, meeting lots of people face to face. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to leave my kitchen, but we have amended our plans to reflect the new normal, and the virtual has worked as well as we probably could have expected. So we are hopeful that we will be able to carry out a safe and a successful census. And that's me done. So any questions?
So I've just been, whenever you have a post on social media, Facebook or that, I've just been sharing it on our Facebook page. So but what I guess, because that's a lot more information than what we've been sort of sharing the 43 days to go, or so, and that's a lot of information to share on social media. So I guess
I can do wee events like this for any groups. If you think your group would be interested in something like this, I'm more than happy to do this. This sort of event online, if you think people would be able to do it, or even if you wanted to share this video afterwards, then people could watch it at their own time, and then if they put questions through, I can follow the post and I can answer them or get them answered, or go through yourself, Natalie, whichever you think would work best. Whether a more interactive thing where it was live and people could ask the questions, or kind of watch back, whichever you felt, I'm happy to do.
Live video would be good actually on our Facebook. I think probably the area that we...
Natalie, sorry, you're very faint. I don't know if it's just me that I can hardly hear you. Sorry. Yeah, people are shaking their head.
Yeah, because I think the area that we operate in would probably be one of those hard to reach areas. It would probably be somewhere that you might not get a high. Okay. So it would be brilliant, I think. Maybe just even that statistic you gave at the beginning, that we wouldn't get £1 million per 100 people, and
yeah. That really brings it home, doesn't it? Whenever you kind of, because you don't realize the difference, and like the Barnett formula is very complicated. That's it in simplistic form, but that's what it means for Northern Ireland, and that's for 10 years. We can't fix that until 2031. So it does make a difference.
That we get, we'd be devastated if we didn't get money from Westminster. We love taking.
Can I suggest, Natalie, that this is going to be on our YouTube channel afterwards. So this is all being recorded. So I would encourage people to put this out, to put the link out on your social media channels far and wide, because it's great, Louise, you're able to facilitate these sessions, but actually sometimes if people are watching it, and like I've just noticed the time, it's only 9:15, so really it's about 10 minutes of people's time, and it's on our YouTube channel, which is BITCNI, and that stands for Business in the Community Northern Ireland. And the other thing I would say as well, just before I want to just remind people, because it's digital now, digital first, that's the ideal, that we want people to be going online, but we appreciate that there is a skills gap there in terms of people who are able to do that. But there's a whole range of organisations out there that can help. We've got Libraries NI who are delivering sessions online. We've got Supporting Communities, Business in the Community, who have a whole team of volunteers in terms of offering.
Hillary, you're frozen.
I was just thinking, I wasn't sure if that was my computer or if it's Hillary's.
When someone freezes, everybody freezes, and then
I know, it's like, is it just
I'm not sure if it's you or them.
No, that's great though. That's what I'll do, is have a look at the YouTube channel as well. I think though we do like live sessions, and then I share it across like our sort of partner Facebook pages, and we'll often get like 50 odd people watching, you know, and it but because it's sharp and snappy, it is just those few minutes. I think people will definitely watch that. That would be really good to do, I think.
So what I'll do after this webinar is I'll trim this video, and then I'll upload it to the YouTube channel, and then because you've already registered and you're attending today, I can send you the direct link to the YouTube video. Once I have it uploaded, it does sometimes take a wee bit of time, might be the end of the day or tomorrow morning before it's up on YouTube. And then once you've watched that, you can go onto our YouTube channel and see everything else that we have there to offer as well.
That would be
brilliant. And my email address is at the end of that, Natalie. So if you just like, it's census.engagement.nisra.gov.uk. So if you want anything more, or if you want something slightly tailored for your group or where you are, you know, I can do that too. Just give me a shout. More than happy to help.
And can I just ask the online then? So it's just like completing an online form. It's pretty self-explanatory then.
Yeah, it's about 80% tick box, and it's more, it's cleverer and a bit quicker online, because as you can imagine, you know, if you're looking at the paper questionnaire and you do question 1 to 9, and then it says if you answer no, skip to question 15, the online questionnaire will automatically take you to 15. You'll never see 10, 11, 12, 14. Because you don't need to, you know, whereas if you're doing the paper, you'll have to, you like everybody does it, you know, even though it tells you to skip to 15, you always have a look at those questions to see if they are relevant to you. So, and then it uses the predictive text too, so for the ones you do have to fill in words for, you know, it kind of, if you start writing a word, like for occupation, if I started writing CIB, it would automatically put in civil servant for me, you know, so it's a wee bit quicker and more easier to do online if you're able to use that method. And Hilary had mentioned their libraries, you know, if the libraries are open again, they have given us access to their computers. So, you know, you can go in and use their computer to do it. And we're also working with the Jobs and Benefits Office to see if we can get them to be able to use their computers if they're open. A lot of this depends on lockdown, obviously, you know, we've got all these arrangements in place, but we don't know whether we'll be able to actually utilise them or not, just depending on what the guidance is at the time.
And is it set for use of a tablet or a mobile? Is it, you know?
It's across all, so mobile, tablet and laptop, desktop. It'll work across any internet enabled device, so it will. The only thing is, it is a fully accessible website, but if you need the to zoom in, it'll zoom in up to 300%, but on a mobile that will spill off the screen, but on anything else it will go in up to 300% and not spill off the screen.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Can I check it's taking place on a particular day? Does it have to be filled in on that day?
No, so it's Census Day is the 21st of March.
Yeah.
That's a Sunday evening. We've recognised now that most people's houses don't change on a Sunday. I know for myself, my house is the same every Sunday. You know, the same 4 people are here every Sunday, no matter the weather, unless I'm expecting a visitor. At the minute, we're even less likely to have visitors. So you can complete from as soon as you get your pack. So like I'll be completing mine as soon as it comes in the door, just so it's done and my boss doesn't go through me for a shortcut. So I'll just, because I know it'll be the same 4 people in my house on the 21st. Most people are the same. There are exceptions, you know, like if you're expecting a baby, for example, like that example I showed you in 1911, you might want to wait until after the baby's born, just so they're included, you know, or at the other end of the spectrum, you know, people at the end of life, you know, might do it either side and things like that. You know, or if you were in a transient like situation, you know, you might wait until the 21st, but you have from the 1st of March, from your pack arrives, right up until the first week in May to complete it. So you do have quite a long length of time. And like I said, you will get reminder letters and you will get sort of up to 3 or 4 knocks on the door in the month of April if you haven't completed. You know, just to kind of remind you, we're still here. Could you fill in that form that's sitting on your kitchen table type thing? You know, not in any kind of menacing way, just, you know, sort of like a more friendly reminder, you know, that, you know, this needs filled in.
Okay.
Families, is there like advice around, you know, if they're sharing children, for example, is there advice for parents for one parent to include the children or the other, or?
It's where the children spend the majority of their time, because I know for me, the kids are with me 5 days a week, they're with their daddy 2 days a week, so I will include them here. For most people, there'll be
the majority of
Yeah, the majority
okay.
time. Yeah, and we're lucky in a way that a week is 7 days, so you know somebody will have them 4 and somebody will have them 3. So you know there'll always be a majority there.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Oh, good question, Natalie.
That's one I haven't had before, but yeah,
from a transient family.
yeah.
I was thinking that as well, but my girls are with me probably 80% of the time.
Yeah.
But we even have, though, like I know some of our residents who come into the centre, we've even got like grandparents who would have the children probably more than maybe the dad, or you know, that kind of way. So I guess it's not just for mums and dads, it's you know, whoever sort of has the children for most of the time. Yeah. Okay.
And it's not like, you know, if you're in the same kind of area, you know, it won't make that huge a difference. You know, like say you all live in the one town or surrounding towns, you know, that money's all gone down to that kind of council level, you know. So like if they're counted in one street and not counted 4 or 5 streets over, you know, that's okay. That won't jeopardize any funding. Yeah. Well, we can pick up, you know, there's a very fancy thing that statisticians do where they can figure out if you've been counted twice, because what you also can have as well is you can get an individual form. So say, for example, you know, teenagers or people in foster care or people living in houses of multiple occupancy where, you know, they're not familiar with the people they're living with, that maybe wouldn't want to share details on their religion, their sexual orientation, things like that, you know, or maybe they'd want to identify as something different that maybe their parents or people they live with wouldn't want to. They can request an individual form, and the code goes straight to their mobile. Nobody in the house knows that they've requested it. You know, they can do that individually, and then that individual form will supersede anything put on the household form. So, you know, your mum and dad could put down X, Y, and Z, and you could put down ABC, and then ABC will be what's recorded, because that's the individual form.
That's good.
Okay, Louise, thank you so much. I think people have found it interesting. I know I have, and I know we've been talking about this for the last couple of months, but still there's nuggets of information that come in that you think, oh, didn't know that. So yeah, I would encourage people to share this webinar. And I guess if you have any questions in the meantime, between now and the next couple of weeks, just feel free to get in contact with myself or Angela or Louise if it's anything to do with census related. But thank you all for attending. Hopefully I've given you half an hour back in your day. But Louise, thank you so much for the
No problem at all. Thank you for having me.
It was fantastic. So have a good day, and let's hope the sun keeps shining, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.